My guy, what's good, bro?
Saving the world, man.
That's what I like to hear.
Cookie in the brain,
Super truth.
straight up. All right, what we got?
Man, we got something incredible launching, man. That's what we got. I'm hearing we got a place where people can come and learn and grab insights and be around community and understand the power of all these things together and understand how this stuff is this technology, not this stuff, this technology is actually improving and altering people's positions, their jobs, their livelihood. So it's a good and a bad side. So I hear that the guys at Skyton launched a network for the people. That's what I'm hearing. I
Yeah,
don't know. Am I tripping?
nah, you can cut to the chase. Yeah. So, guys, we have it's Artificial Intelligence Visionaries Network, right? It's in the academy, but it's not in the academy, so you don't need a membership in order to have access to it, right? 100% free community, free to get in. Inside of the community, we're going to have a series of discussion channels for people to kind of partake. We're going to have training material free, and then we'll have some paid situations. The first product, what really started this was the 7 free AI books that we gave out on Instagram, right? We had a trigger a little while back, and I had to stop with the trigger because what I started to notice was there's a lot of takers on IG, and I didn't even realize that, right? So you give them these free books that were held by what's the organizations and institutions?
Google, AWS, University of Penn, Harvard, um,
Intel,
Intel,
University
yeah, and
of Cal Berkeley,
IBM.
and University of Cal Berkeley.
Yeah.
So what's happening now, guys, is some of the largest institutions in the world, right, and companies are offering free certified training because there's not enough people in the workforce that understand what's happening with artificial intelligence. So we decided to take our time and compile a free list of every single one of these courses, gave them direct links, and you could find ways to get certified in them, right? Now, I'll give you a thing. One of the first ones I took was the Google for Everyone, AI for Everyone, right? That was the Google one. I kind of told people enter with that one. It gives you a good framework of what it is, right? So if you can get through it within, I think, 7 days, they allowed it to be free. If you didn't finish within the 7 days, it would convert to a paid. So the way they try to get you was, yeah, you can finish it in 7 days, but you won't get the certification unless you pay for it, right? So one of our students, and this is why it's important to have community, she found a financial aid link that went from $299 for the certification to, I think, $29.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now a lot of these courses are offering financial aid, and it doesn't ask you there's no income questions or anything. They basically approve everybody. Power of community.
Power.
When I started taking the course, it went from $299, and when I started the course, they sent me, I think after the first or second chapter that I got in, it sent me a discount from $299 to like $259. So I'm like, oh man, I'm getting a good deal. Not really. So one of our students end up finding that now everybody is getting it for the $29. Now with that certification, you could actually put that on your resume, right? For your current position. And we already have some kids that are taking NVIDIA courses. People are seeing increases of retention at their jobs, increases in pay. You start going to other jobs with these certifications in there. They don't care to know how much you know. They just want to be able to bring you to the table.
Yeah.
So part of the network and just why I thought it was important, one, historically, we are always the last in tech. If we ever get into it, we end up just being users. We're never a culture that could create the framework behind technology. But somehow we're the drivers of technology. Make sense? It doesn't make sense, right?
At all.
Okay. So when you can have Clubhouse with billion-dollar valuation, that was built on the backs of Black culture. Twitter, Black culture. MySpace, Black culture. Right? Then
Yeah.
you find out X, he was getting investors to come up with the bread. Black culture.
Yeah.
Right? So how could a culture be a driver to technology but not the inventor? So we're at a great time in history right now, right? Because we have the opportunity to frame the future that we want with this technology that doesn't require you to be a programmer,
Right.
right? There was some gatekeeping stuff that kind of happened in programming where it was just like, listen, you got to know X's and O's, you got to go to school. I went to school for computer science initially. And then when you find out that you didn't have to go to college for that, you could have just went and got the certifications. I'm like, all right, I know exactly what I'm doing on the next go round.
Right.
And the crazy part about it, all the business ideas I had when I went to school for computer science, I could have definitely built a lot of my own products as opposed to relying on other people. I could have got the framework down, right? So when this new emerging tech came, and first it was blockchain and cryptocurrency, I'm like, I'm not missing that. So we solidified our space in that in 2015. If you know us, you know the story. We don't got to go too deep with that. There's nobody on the internet. And I told Champ the other day, I'm done with that. I'm not even an authority figure in it no more. I OG myself out of crypto. But we still have some tremendous products that's ready for when you're ready. Right? The teacher will appear when the student decides to come. So whenever y'all ready, man, comment the word foundation, 5-part cryptocurrency training. If the $97 is too cheap, I can raise it to $97,000. Like some of these other guys, and maybe you'll find value in $97,000. But it's not that serious, guys. Anything of low ticket item doesn't mean that it's of low quality.
Yeah.
Right? Because these guys aren't banging you in the head anymore for these high ticket items anymore. Ask yourself why. Did you make money off of high ticket items or not? So you might want to question some of these higher ticket items. Orange, I see you, Orange. No, you get to smoke every week. So, yeah, $97 for the foundation, but I'm not here to talk about that. It's really the AI situation. Part of it is from what we've been realizing about what our students have been telling us the last few weeks since we've been talking this. There's a lot of excitement, but then there's a lot of fear, right? Being able to figuring out a way to shape your future is fearful to a lot of people because we don't really hold as a collective. I'm not saying everybody because I'm shaping my future, but I'm also conforming and using technology that doesn't have my best interests in mind, right? So when you think of a brother selling financial literacy products, it's kind of an oxymoron on these platforms. They don't really want the word to get out like that. Anything of empowerment does not work for their algorithm. All right. So I'm just going to let you guys know, and this is just my personal take on it. You can feel how you feel. I'm not letting white men usher me into this new realm. Okay. I have younger children that need to play in this world far longer than me because I could just shut off a phone and, ready to grab my farmland and be out of here. But I do have a generation that's coming up behind me that, it just wouldn't be fair to them if they became farmers by default, if they didn't really want to.
Right.
So that can't be reality in my household. So if I'm not shaping the future of this technology, then that means my children have no chance because by the time they get around to it, it's going to be shaped. Yeah. And they're in private school and they're not even talking about this right now like that. The only talk in schools about AI is cheating on papers and just trying to figure out how to get these kids to not use it for that. Yeah. Right. So even that aspect of it, and these teachers are hip to it because they can put the papers to an AI bot that's going to tell them how much percentage of it was generated through AI. So I told my kids already, don't be dumb. Right. One of the other things too, guys, that I'm realizing is I've been on this tip for the last couple months with convenience. Right. And I started to just look at everything in life that's convenient. So I started first was my time management situation. I'm like, how do we have all this technology around us? And I'm finding myself with less and less time. Yeah. The technology is really supposed to replace things that took time in order for me to reclaim my time and end up doing what I really want to do. Right? But we find ourselves working even more with the technology. So I'm like, nah, this can't be it. So when I started to peel back the layers of convenience, I started to realize that convenience, it robs people of the innate ability to be able to do for themselves. Right? So just because I can call an Uber or DoorDash to bring me food doesn't mean that I'm going to ever know how to cook. Right? So we'll have a generation of kids that never light the fire in the kitchen. We'll have a generation of kids that never need to drive. But what happens when some shit goes down and you got to be able to feed yourself, or you got to be able to get from point A to point B? So because I was involved in cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, I understood the dark side to the technology, right? Because we live in two paradigms in this world. There's just good and evil, do right, do wrong. Like, that's it. Those are the two paradigms that we're in. But the people that are driving the technology are the ones that are trying to do wrong every time because they just want to control and conform society in the way that they want to see it.
Yeah.
Right? So we got one group of politicians that want to do what? Sit here and just wheel off a whole bunch of misinformation. Right? Love is love. Everybody's accepted. I'm just like, but the fabric of just society right now. I mean, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but let's just keep it basic here. Everybody can do what they do, but I don't have to partake in this. I don't have to be in this circus right here. But then they force you to be, and then what happens is there's two types of people. There's the ones that speak out against it and they make us look crazy, as if we don't love people. And then there's the ones that stay quiet because they don't want to get terminated, or that's the worst. That's the worst kind right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. And if you fall in that category, I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm just telling you that start to reevaluate why you can't be your authentic self. Because if you can't have an opinion about losing a job, then I don't think that job even cares about you so much. It's just telling you earlier, champ, go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So with that said, I don't like to be stuck on problems. I just like solutions. And historically, our people are the last ones to come out of stuff. Okay. So because we live recession-like, we kind of not feel the blow. Right. And then there's no one coming to save us at the end of the day. So we're the last ones to recover from any financial setbacks or societal setbacks.
Yeah.
They've dismantled us. And when I say us, meaning if we're not all free, then none of us are. That's the ideology that I follow. Yes, Steve is okay, but Steve's not okay with somebody else not being okay. Especially when I can see that things are being done to people. This is why I'm giving more and more grace in life now. Because no one wants to like abuse their body and die. You know what I mean? Like, clearly something's being put in front of us and we just can't say no to it. And that's only the stuff that we see. Imagine the stuff you're not seeing that's out there. So I just know we're entering a phase in society where people are starting to say the quiet things out loud, and I'm kind of cool with that phase. Right? So when Trump bought out those boys and all that other stuff, I'm like, this is perfect. Yeah. Right? Because everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Because I want to be entitled to my own opinion.
Yeah.
Now, whether I subscribe to that, that's a different thing, but I'm not going to be out there fighting people. I just know that, all right, you got a clan hood on. No problem, my brother.
Now I know who you are.
I know who you are, right? Because these people are feeding us, they're teaching us, they own everything in the middle aisle of the grocery store, and y'all worried about the guys marching in the streets? They not that bright. It's the ones that subscribe to them that are feeding us, that are teaching us.
In charge of the legal system, in charge of healthcare, our doctors and nurses and stuff like that. Right. Yeah,
that's what you should be worried about. I'm not getting caught up in the emotions of some dudes walking around some khakis and some tight shirts. Like that's
right.
That's the least of my worries.
That's the least of the worries.
Yeah, I can see that.
Real talk.
Yeah. That's shit hand to hand, no problem.
Absolutely.
I'm built for that combat. Y'all want to do that? Let's do it. But that's not what I'm here for.
Right.
So I say that to say Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the call. We're going to launch the Visionary Network. And the reason why the network is important is not only that we're going to bring you valuable information based on like industries. So one of the free products we have is the top 10 industries that are being affected by AI right now. the first thing you have to do is you have to understand what the technology is, and you have to understand what's currently happening with the technology, because a lot of government officials aren't even talking about AI. They let us get beat up on the internet for the last couple decades, right? They never put parameters in place. We had to figure out how to get our kids safe on here. We had to figure out how to, for us to be safe on the internet, right? They're going to do the same thing with artificial intelligence, because these officials aren't really, they can't keep up with the pace of this technology. So you have to discern for yourself, and no one is coming to save you. I don't care who you think you're voting for. AI is going to take your job, whether it's Trump or Harris.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to stop it.
At all.
We utilize it every day in our business. And it's like, you think I'm going to go hire somebody to do this work that I just have to press a button and it costs me $100 a year? No, that person needs what they call upskill, meaning now, right? There was a time where technology, listen, every time we enter an industrial revolution, it's always spearheaded by technology. So we're not in horses and buggies anymore. So remember the guy that was selling the buggies? If he ain't started a car company, he's pretty much cooked. Right? You remember Polaroid, right?
I like that one. That was a ball.
Let's act like nobody was wiped out because of technology. Yeah. They even had to stop picking cotton when the gin came. Word. So y'all better think the cotton gin. I mean, that's what they say we were picking. That's my history is not cotton picking. So I'm just giving jokes now, but I'm not taking away from what happened. So I'm not downplaying anything, but I'm just telling you that, was that the real history?
Or was that what was fed?
Right? Because there's no life in thinking that you came from descendants of slaves. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I'm first generation Haitian American. We were actually the first ones to rebel. Yeah. And we're still paying for it.
To this day.
So the group, we're going to launch on Wednesday. Kind of tell you a little bit about it on the call. Comment the word what?
It's a AVN1.
No. It's live one. They got to go to the call first.
Oh, got you. My bad, y'all. Listen, he's right. 100%.
That's an incorrect prompt. So it's LIVE1. You could drop it in the chat. Yeah. Yep. So that's going to get you the link to Wednesday, and then from Wednesday you'll be able to then get it. We're going to give you the link directly to get into the academy group. Right. There you go. Comment the word live1. You can do it here on live 2, and then you'll get the trigger back. That's going to be the Zoom link for Wednesday. We'll also have a replay. So if you can't make it, you definitely want to have the replay. All right. You could also comment the word SMS if you want to get inside our system, just to be alerted when things are coming up. That's a good thing too. Right. Comment the word SMS. Now, back to this group here. The reason it was important for us to do it as a collective is because I'm looking to bring in all industries. One of my main focuses is going to be healthcare workers, especially nurses, because during the pandemic, these were the most important people in the world. They were considered essential. And I watched the government and even the media go from championing these people to like castrating them when they were like, we're not taking this thing that you're trying to give out here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now when AI is upon us, I'm noticing that there's a lot of shifts coming in the healthcare industry. The healthcare industry is one of the oldest industries that's never really added too much in the sense of like automation and things like that. They still do have a pretty big workforce, but now with the nurse shortages, trust me, these nurses are going to start to get replaced. And if you went to school for nursing, what else can you do with your degree? Right? If there's no hospitals that are really hiring like that. So we have a lot of nurses within our academy, and we've been talking to them behind the scenes. And, inpatient, outpatient, these are all like questions that people are asked. So you don't need a live person to like do in and out patient care. So they're seeing the shift, they're seeing the changes. They're actually working along radiology. They're working alongside of robots and things. So AI itself will replace remedial work, but people who use AI will replace people. And if you think that upper level and senior positions aren't going to come in that chopping block then you're highly mistaken.
Absolutely.
The people that are the safest is the higher you go up the food chain. Those people are less affected, right? So if I'm the CEO of my company, there's no bot that's going to do the shit that I do. I just know that for a fact right now.
Right.
And if there's a bot that can replace me, then pray for us all, because I'm a wild boy with my thoughts, right? I'm not trying to toot my horn, but I'm just telling you that if there's a robot that can replace me, I'm kind of high in the totem pole when it comes to like starting and executing and adjusting and fine tuning and recalibrating. You get where I'm going with this. So I felt the need to bring a community together. So when we have a bunch of people in certain sectors, we're going to start to then feed you information of where you can go get the training. So we're not touting ourselves as the place you go for the training, but it is the number one place for the culture to go to understand what AI is and to position you for the training.
Absolutely.
Okay. The part that we can control is we have a ebook out now that shows you 30 industries that you can get into to create a consulting business. Back in the 90s, the companies and people, the industries that were formed in the 90s due to technology, the first wave of hires and employment was all consultation, because there was a new technology that a lot of people didn't know about and a lot of people didn't have time to know about it. So this is where they built out a whole consulting agency. So whether you worked independently for yourself or you worked for a company, people were getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in the 90s. So that means if you translate that to today's income, even if it was 100,000, there's a lot of people not even making 100K at their job right now.
Right now, yeah.
So all you have to do is understand emerging tech. The difference between now and then is then you had to really like find the information, right? Now the information is of abundance. Google is telling you, here's the training. IBM, Intel, AWS, which is Amazon, they're telling you, here's the training. NVIDIA, train and come work for us. And we gave a stat the other day with the NVIDIA, certain levels of people within the organization got a kind of it's like a stock package. So when you get hired, they give you a certain amount of stock. It was about 77,000 worth of stock, which is now worth over $10 million.
These are employees.
These are employees. So you tell me that you're leaving a job that did that for you. That's how you keep retention. So if you're not upskilling right now, and I don't care what industry you're in, and if you're a business owner and you think you're safe and you're not using AI, your competitors are going to move past you. So yeah, we have Fiverr. Fiverr was kind of the platform for independent contractors, and they tend to be cheaper because they come from countries where the cost of living is lower, so they charge better. But I can tell you that the AI is even cheaper than those guys, and you don't have to deal with the language barrier. You don't have to deal with the back and forth.
Consistencies in performance, efficiency,
right? The time, the money, right? Because you're still paying more. So healthcare, one of the reasons why healthcare is going to be attacked is because ever since the pandemic, and it was like this before, there was a decline in just bedside manners. You ever go to the doctor and feel like you're really a person? Do they ever spend more than 10 minutes with you?
Not at all. You're a number.
Right. So I'm cool with seeing a robot in there. Same thing with the restaurants. I won't eat from an automated place, but the level of service now, I'm just like, shit, I don't want to take it from a human.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes you gotta laugh. Yeah, you gotta laugh about it. It's wild though. This is real.
We got a D team out here in the workforce. Like, this, and I tell people, it's not that the workforce is dead. It's just people went to the internet to make money. Like, no one has to work at a grocery store. No one has to run around and make $10 an hour. Like, what? These kids are making like $1,000 a day. So the workforce just changed. But the media and the government will have you thinking like, oh, people are sitting around lazy. So all they did was they let the migrants in so the migrants could take the jobs before everything gets fully automated. That's what the migrant play is for.
Yeah.
And in doing that, they opened up a lot of security risks in this country, because as the South American countries are bringing down their crime rate, and ask yourself how. They're not keeping those guys in jail. They're sending them to Mexico and they're getting through the border, or they're even flying them in. So it's not even a border crisis, guys. They're flying people in. They got you looking at the border and they're coming in through the airport.
Straight up.
So we got a lot of things going on in this country, but the one thing I do want to do is offer our culture an opportunity to just stay ahead of the curve and not just take scraps. Because I'm telling you, these boys are going to concoct a story that is going to have you super trapped. So when you see headlines like the CEO of Telegram getting arrested in Paris because he doesn't want to give up information on his about his platform and who's doing what, when you see the Supreme Court in Brazil talking about banning X in their country, you got to know China, there's no Facebook in a lot of countries you go to. You have to use VPNs to get on these things.
Yes.
There's a reason why they don't want Western culture in their country. And I could agree on it, because now when I look at the United States, I'm like, yo, this country has no culture. I create my own culture, and then I attract people of like mind. So this isn't about race, guys. It's about culture, right? We have to mix with everything. This whole thing about this melting pot. It's just like, do I really want something out of a pot that just melted everything together?
Yeah. Individualism is important. You know what I mean? But being around your tribe is even more important. So yeah, I respect that. And
big time, right? It's just ideology, right? It comes from us teaching each other there's certain codes of how we handle conflict resolution.
Right.
There's certain codes of manner and honor, how we talk to each other when we see each other, how we address each other, right? And the great part about Trump in that first administration that I liked, I'll be honest, is it was the first time that the culture came together. I'll say blacks in real estate, because that's where I was at the time. I noticed so many of us, like, there was a time where we always thought we were in competition with each other. And I don't come from that like mind, but it felt like there was always a competition. And when Trump came, it was more of, the message was, oh my God, he's going to do X, Y, Z. We got to come together. And it's like, no, we should always come together.
Yeah.
So if the Trump effect was about nationalism and all that other stuff, it's cool. It's okay to not subscribe to everything that everybody does. But only with black culture, when we try to come together, it's like chastised, like, oh, you not a Supreme Court, oh, you can't give out loans and opportunity to just minorities or whatever. The white male is considered the minority now in America, right? So remember when you had the word minority, they hijacked that. Then the woke culture, I was kind of late on it. I'm like, wait, when did they take woke? Because woke was about like canceling those guys.
Right.
They took that joint, they spun it on us, and now this chick here, sorry, not this chick, whatever, is talking about, you better be woke. You better. I'm like, better spelled which way? With an ER or a A?
A on the end. Yeah, it's like you're pandering. You're talking to a certain audience. That's why.
Oh, okay. But I've heard her with Netanyahu and all those guys. When they come around, she's like, these girls are articulate.
Right. Proper
no longer. And listen, for all my HBCUs and all these sororities and sorority fraternities, listen, that whole culture ain't gonna last for another 10 years. College admissions is down. No one is subscribing to that. We are the last generation that's going to take out heavy debt to just come out to a workforce that you're not prepared for. Mm-hmm. So you better off getting this $50 a month situation and upskilling yourself. You better off going to Andrew Tate's University and Hustle University. You better. You better. I'm telling you, because the days of paying $100,000 to $300,000 and hoping that Robert Smith pays off your loan, stop.
It's over for that. Yeah, this is it. And they're intentionally. You guys know the story. I don't got to go too deep, but they're intentionally helicoptering money.
Hold on, while we here, because I see the crowd going a little crazy. Listen, invite 1 or 2 people in here. Just be like, yo, this brother's in here spazzing out.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody
this invite, and if they can't make it on here, because I'm about to get off in a minute, just send them the link, right? Live one. Send them the link from Wednesday, because if you think I'm spazzing out now, Orange, tell them what goes on in there, Milt. Tell them what happens on those calls, Milt.
Jerry in the building. Jerry, talk to him. Let him know.
We got this is a different movement on this side, man. This is not about like upskilling. We don't just do that. You mess around, bump your head, and believe in yourself after rocking with us for a little bit.
Ooh, let's go. Talk that talk.
So upskilling is what everyone has to do. And what I mean by that is you have to make yourself more valuable in the workplace. There's no more DEI, guys. So that's it. They could tell you flat out, I ain't hiring you because you black. Like there's no protection under that. And I never liked it anyway, but I get it, right? Because we didn't, they lock us out purposely. We don't own institutions. The black colleges are funneling people to, the top of the top are being poached. It's the whack system.
Yeah. It's a dumb way.
But when you take money and you take funding from government, you're also going to have regulations and do's and don'ts.
Rules and parameters you got to operate in. Yeah.
So there's like two sisters who started a fund for other sisters to be able to, have access to money and things like that. And they took them right to the Supreme Court. There's like Asian women like, oh, that's discrimination against me. And I'm like, what? You guys have enough opportunity out here. Y'all be all right. Mm-hmm. So now we can't even do anything for us by us. So if FUBU was around today, that wouldn't work. Man. But I'm not operating from that paradigm. It is still FUBU to this day. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But the for us by us is important because they were the creators of, like, why wouldn't they hold on to the culture? And then what did every single person that owned those lines do after a few short years? They sold it to who? I ain't even gonna say it because they're gonna kick me off the live.
The other side, yeah.
So now you have these culture vultures, kind of owning the culture, the hip hop, the clothing. I'm just like, but what do y'all do? Why don't y'all sell that stuff y'all wear? Make that cool.
Yeah.
So I'm just over it, man. I'm a guy that, born in the 70s, came up on 90s hip hop and R&B. Like, I just want to bring back that good feeling, man.
Yeah, it's needed. It's needed in these times. Very much so.
Yeah.
Feminine women, masculine men, everybody handling their business, supporting one another, loving one another. That's it. It's so simple, but we make it so hard. Nah, real talk.
But
that's wild, man.
Again, when you could keep a nation in a confused state, it's a control state. Toxic and masculinity don't go hand in hand. Like, what are you talking about? We are protectors here. All right, so when you start taking men out of society, good luck. Let's see how this thing goes. Because when they start burning you at the stake, you're going to wish somebody was here for protection. You're going to wish more people stood up. And this is what's happening with this technology, guys. I'm telling you, it is not put here to make our lives any more convenient, because I just told you that convenience is going to strip you of your inability or your ability to do many things. And this technology is the last thing that's going to strip you of the inability to do what?
Think.
Mm-hmm. So just because you're using it and you feel like you're being efficient, you have no clue. You know what it feels like when you look at your watch and then somebody asks you what time it is, and you got to look at it again because it ain't processed the first time.
The crippling of convenience.
Here's the part about the convenience, and I'll connect this last out for you guys. The part about convenience that's even more profound to me is you have to pay for the convenience, right? So the more things we buy or whatever, it comes with a membership, it comes with taking out credit to buy the thing that's supposed to save you more time, and that means then you have to work for the convenience now. Mm-hmm. So we just exchange time for money, and then it's still giving us less time. Riddle me that one. Don't be dumb. Trust me. Get inside of this AI group. Get inside of an AI group. I don't care which one it is. We just gave you 7 of them. Go to Google. Go to Apple. Intel, IBM. Go to all those guys. Yeah. We want you guys to go there to get the certification. I can't hire enough people. This vertical is not there yet. Yeah. But if you're not going to do it for yourself, you better do it for that generation that's coming behind you. Because I came from a generation that didn't understand what the internet was. My dad was just trying to survive. He just worked a blue-collar job. We didn't have the computer in our household growing up. Like, we had an Encyclopedia Britannica. I don't even know where they were finding these things. We didn't have the full set.
All kind of gems in there, too.
Well, big time. You know what I'm saying? That's where it was at. Then you go to the library and you got to figure out a card catalog. So you had to go look for information.
Yeah.
Right now, they're getting rid of libraries and everything's replaced by a cell phone. And I'm like, shit, phone is smart, person's dumb. And it's not even our fault that we dumbed it down. I'm over here. I can't even follow the North Star anymore without the navigation on in my car. And I'm going to the same place.
Yeah, this is wild.
Because I got caught in New York one time. My phone died, and I had the worst charger in the car, bro. I was in the Bronx. I did not know left from right. You know, Manhattan, easy stuff. You know, like
Yeah.
Brooklyn,
Find your way
bro.
to the West Side.
I
Yeah.
got that, but the Bronx, I'm like, no way. It's unfamiliar to me. My phone would not cut on, bro.
Ooh,
And
man.
really, what's crippling me is really the traffic.
Yeah.
Right? Because that feature on there will save you some time.
Definitely.
Because I swear, every time I don't turn it on, I'm like, what am I doing right now stuck in traffic? I could have went local.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the convenience has me dumb.
Yeah.
So when they cut the lights out, I'm going to figure that out. I'm definitely going to do better.
Yeah. Yeah. We products of the MapQuest era. So
Print it
yeah.
out
Yeah, had to
and
print it
track
out
mileage.
straight up.
Yeah, print it out and track mileage.
Absolutely.
That built a lot of you know, just the keenness, the wholeness, the looking at things through different lenses, problem solving. You know, how they looking?
Comments is dope. Man, people put in comment the word live one if you're just getting on the live. That'll give you the link to Wednesday's call. You definitely don't want to miss it. The comments is fire. Terminal just added the evil eye just turned on with AI being the center of all talks, which replaced our thinking process.
I
Facts.
like that.
Facts.
Yeah, Black Wall Street. Listen, the only difference between this and that is you're not. You know, once we build those communities back again, that you're not coming in there to bomb nothing,
Yeah.
right? They gave us a complex about having and owning weapons, right? Oh, just pray. That's why we forgive them every chance we get. We just forgive them. We're like the most forgiveful people in the world. And I'm not saying to go ahead and eye for eye and all that, but listen, if this happens, then that happens. So let's not make sure that this happens.
Right. Protect yours.
That's why Farrakhan's been living for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It'll rain on you 30 days and 30 nights. You go figure out. Them boys is organized. They just know when you create disorganization, you could easily break that up because it's not organized. So the next Wall Street, the next Black Wall Street would be a lot more organized. And you just need some real people at the top too, man. It's just end of the day, there's just a lot of suckers with money, man, that don't really care about the culture at all, but rely on the culture to make money. Start to identify these people. When you start to understand who you are and your self-worth, you can see right through all types of people. But if your money is tied up and it's kind of messed up right now, and you over here on the internet looking at ways to make money, good luck. You about to get killed. Them boys is leading with value, and they're gonna show you they have money, and that's all you care about.
Yeah.
This is one long ass infomercial out here. So I'm just telling you, we gave you 7 free courses by the biggest institutions and businesses in the world, and we didn't ask for anything in return. So now we're going to get you in a group, and we have to motivate each other to stay on top of it, to make sure we're finishing these courses, to make sure people bring back the information. I'm not taking the course to go get a job. I'm taking the course so I can create work.
Right. That's it.
But
That's
there's nothing
mission.
wrong with the job because we can't all be, all chiefs and no Indians is like a chaotic unbalance too, right? We all be sitting there not buying nothing from each other. There'd be no commerce. I got that. No, you go grow that. I grow that. You got that. You do security. Just figure out what you do well. That's all you got to do with AI. Don't overcomplicate it. Here's a tip. All you got to do is go to ChatGPT or Google, chat better, and just ask it, how would AI and automation affect and then whatever your industry is? And then right after you ask it that, just say, what are ways that I could protect myself or upskill myself? That's all we're doing, guys, is we're just asking questions. But if you're sitting in silence and you're starting to see people in other departments on the chopping block, you could either be prepared for it or you might be ready to go to unemployment line. And I'm going to tell you that unemployment ain't going to be of abundance on the next run. That's when they have you sign up, and that central bank digital currency is going to be out right around that time, if I had to guess. And that's programmable money. So if y'all don't know what that is, we got a new masterclass coming out. It's free. There's no upselling in it. We're just going to talk about CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. We're going to talk about social credit systems. And if you don't think this stuff is happening east and coming west, you're highly mistaken. That means you know nothing about world economics, because this stuff is happening in a lot of countries right now. And in the United States is a beta test ground. They utilize the world as their test ground because they don't want chaos here really like that. But I'm a guy with vision, so I'm gonna leave you with this one. And believe it if you want it or not, but we're gonna have a race war in this country. And it may not be just black and white, but it's going to be of many fractions. And the reason that they're going to end up pulling us to go against each other is because the closer we get to understanding who they are and what they're doing, they got to put on the ultimate distraction. And I'm seeing it right now with this election, because the election has nothing to do with policy. It's just about him versus her, black versus white, male versus female. That's it. It's like, this is, I thought Obama and Trump would have been a good fight. This one's actually better.
Wow.
This one has all the makings of like the worst movie that I never signed up to be a part of. So happy voting. Show those stickers. When's the election day again? You know the date?
Got me beat.
I got to figure it out. Because they told me
You
that
going to vote?
if you don't, well, I mean, y'all, our ancestors fought for it, so I'm kind of in a pickle.
Did they? Did they really?
Now, I'm just telling you, that's the old story that everybody's holding on to. So guys, don't vote with sense. Right? I'm just not interested in the two-party system.
Right.
When you're a business owner, you don't see things in twos. You see them in minimal threes. So you got to look at the good, the bad, and then you just figure out how to make your own decision with it. So I just like three-party system. 50-50 is kind of a crapshoot, right?
Yeah.
That's why you hear the lesser of two evils. But that RFK over there, he blowing some steam, boy.
Yeah.
You talk about a guy that's about to break the system up, and if he brings Elon Musk in to start investigating I'm like, man, this thing's gonna be a shit show, bro. At the end of the day, we just need to blow up the system. We just, give me term limits. Make sure these dudes 4 years in never come back again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just hold them to a standard. I don't care which side you want. Just term limits. Blow up that Supreme Court. Make it even down the middle, and let them work shit out. They won't make that even, but they'll make the election 50-50. Riddle me that one. And you could thank Obama for giving up all those Supreme Court seats for all people that's mad at Trump. It's like it was left for him. So I'll leave you with this. The Democrats have ran 12 of the last 16 years. How has life been for you? Comment in the video below. I'm out. Take us out, champ.
Yo, listen. Wednesday, we need you guys there at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to rock you guys out. We got a live call. In order for you guys to get on that call, I need you in the comments below to write live one, LIVE1, all together, no spaces. You're going to get the link directly sent to you, and we'll see you guys Wednesday on that call. You think this was hot? Watch how we chef it up. Let's go. Mic drop. We out of here. Love y'all. Skype family.